Abdul-Hakim Shabazz from IndyPolitics.org. Also, a fellow co-worker of mine over at now at Radio 1, used to be the competition in this. Now we're in your
We're one big happy broadcasting family.
one big happy family down in the MS Studios on Monument Circle. Legendary. Another. Is that what it is? Okay. Let's see about that. Anyway, you can hear Abdul Saturdays 1 to 3 on 93 WIBC. Always fantastic talk show. I enjoyed when you have the weekdays.
You can also follow me on Twitter, ATTY.
And of course, IndyPolitics.org for all of these stories that Abdul is following. We mentioned Todd Rokita. You can find out the backstory on that comment if you don't know about why Todd Rokita is Abdul's favorite journalist in Indianapolis. So Abdul, the mayor sent some text messages, and that further led people to call for his resignation. The text messages that we know of that dealt with Lauren Roberts were from 2015, before he was mayor, and Barack Obama was president. Just to put perspective on for folks on what timeline, what world we're in, and the mayor. The best way to describe the fairest, accurate way is some. What was the term that was used?
Creepy.
Well, creepy was one, but overly casual.
Creepy.
I've got that was the spectrum, overly casual to creepy, of text messages that he sent back in 2015.
At about 9:30 at night, while he was in bed with his wife sleeping next to him.
Well, never mind. I was gonna say we don't know about that part because the mayor says he in some of these text messages that I want to talk to you about some personal things, and he's alluding to that he's got some personal things that he wants to talk about. Nevertheless, he from what we've seen, these texts have not been sexual in nature, but the text that Lauren Roberts presented showed that this is
let
why
me ask you a question. You're married, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been married?
Going on 6 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let me put it this way. When we were in our younger and single days, my younger days much further behind than yours. If I was text messaging a woman at 9:30 at night, I was on a mission. Unless we're like, no, hey, we got this research project we got to get done tomorrow, blah 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 blah.
Right.
But it and I'm not saying the mayor didn't think the mayor had ulterior motives, but it doesn't look good.
Correct.
It's optics once again.
Correct. And this is where Lauren is saying no matter if you feel it's creepy or if you feel it's overly casual, her point is this is why I was uncomfortable with going to the mayor about Thomas Cook, because he kind of did something that was somewhere between creepy and overly casual. So that further asks people, that said, the point is, this doesn't help, nor do the texts that he was sending to Caroline Ellert, where he's talking about poetry and commenting that there's this picture that they took together that I know you didn't really want to take the picture, but I like looking at it because it shows we can come together, yada, yada, yada. That all took another chapter of the story and also doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't. And once again, it's optics. It's plain and simple. There's a story I tell whenever I give a speech about a sheep farmer. And the sheep farmer is working on the sheep farm, but that night he's got a big dinner he's got to go to. And so he's got all the sheep stuff all over him. And so he goes in the shower in the barn because he brought the change of clothes with him, because once he gets done showering and clean up, his wife got to go to this event. So he gets out of the shower, and he's standing there butt naked and dripping wet, and all the sheep are around him, and his wife walks in. And he's like, no, honey, no. That's what I say. It's not what it is. It's what it looks like.
And it doesn't look great.
No.
So with that said, now is the question, okay, Lauren Roberts is saying these texts should have been included in the report. Now, she has not said that there are more texts. And we haven't heard, unless you got some news you're ready to break, we haven't heard people say that there are more text or anything even more graphic or worse than what was sent. But to her point is, if this wasn't included in the entire report, how do we know that?
Right. And it's sort of if you left that out, what else did you leave out?
Right.
Like I said, once again, it's not what it is. It's what it looks like. And I realize that this is a tricky situation because you got personnel records involved, you got witness interviews. Some people don't want to be identified publicly. I if I were the commission or the council, I would like, hey, what can we legally release and just do a full data dump, and just get it done and get away, and just pull off that band-aid right now, because the longer you delay, the longer you take forever to get information out, then another story breaks out, then another story breaks out. It's that slow drip. It's it's not death. It's not so much death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's like it's like death by rising water. Every day the water creeps up another inch, and then eventually, next thing you know, everybody's underwater.
The story that you have right now on your website, showing it to everybody at indiepolitics.org, Carlino stands her ground amid council controversy. Is this the latest in the saga? Because you also, and I don't know, because you can never tell with Facebook these days, you've also posted that the Hogshead story is about to get much worse.
Yes, and see, but here's the thing though. When I posted that on Facebook, that was like 2-3 days ago,
Mhm.
which is like 2-3 universes ago.
Correct. Correct.
And the news cycle has sort of changed somewhat. Uh, there may be some more information probably coming out after the 4th of July, because not only because I'm tired of these people for right now. I just need a break. Um, so I would definitely pay attention to indie politics. Probably Monday or Tuesday of next week after 4th of July for another section of the story to come out. I feel like Avengers Endgame, and the time change. Every time you do one little thing, you create another timeline.
Uh-huh. If it's Avengers, that universe just continues to go. Just more. It is like Avengers because these characters who are in the background are suddenly like headline people
Yes,
in the universe.
and I'm a big Marvel fan too, so go figure.
So, I wanted to ask you about this. So, this quote here, she says, when she's talking to you, she says, "I felt good when I went to bed last night, Abdul, and when I woke up, I saw a podcast air featuring Vice President Ali Brown. I was deeply concerned. Lots of profanity, lies, blame placing, but more importantly, character assassination." Is she referring to Ali Brown on the Black Briefing podcast?
Yes.
And so, bring that into context because I listened to much of that podcast.
Ali Brown. Let's put it this way: there's no love loss between Ali Brown and Krista Carlino. There's no love loss whatsoever.
Okay.
I'm not one of Ali Brown's favorite people for obvious political reasons, and that doesn't bother me because I do my job and move on. However, Ali Brown and Krista Carlino have to work together, as council members, as members of the Democratic Caucus. And Ms. Carlino has had some not so nice, flattering things to say about Ali Brown, and I'm sure Ali Brown has some not so nice things to say about Krista Carlino.
And I think she did make that clear. Ali Brown did in the podcast.
Yeah, and so throw the fact that these two don't like each other to begin with, and then you got all this other stuff on top of it. It's great for the news business. It's bad for government,
right?
But hey, it drives our subscribers and our listeners up, so it is what it is.
Right.
Excuse me.
So, what is the beef here? That because Ali, as you were alluding to earlier, that Ali Brown said that she was triggered by going through that situation.
Yes. Yeah.
So how does
if I trust me, my friend, if I knew the answer to that question, we'd be doing this from my yacht because I'd have won the lottery and the Powerball and the Mega Millions all in the same day.
Because she said she's triggered because Carlino brought this up.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just trying to get that connection because again, there's parts of it where it was like, well, didn't we know that because in the podcast she talked about how we kind of heard that some things were happening, maybe some folks would show up. So I get that maybe everybody was surprised by the way that it went, but the fact that this was going to be brought up, I mean, it was actually on the agenda.
And see, but here's the thing, though: if you want to blame somebody for what went for the way things went south at the council meeting, the responsibility lies solely on the council leadership. Because had they just let the women give instead of just having that 2-minute hard and fast rule, like because of the special circumstances, as council president, I'm going to exercise my right to waive the rule, let this young woman finish her statement. Thank you very much. We're done. That's all you had to do, and none of this would be here right now. But they didn't do it, and so now we're living with the consequences of it.
So is we can put a nail in this for now.
No.
Until 4th of July or after 4th of July.
No, I leave the coffin door open just
Okay.
because you just never know. I say leave the casket open.
Okay. Well, if you talk about casket, some folks would say put Joe Hogsett's chances of being a mayor for a fourth time in that casket. The mayor has not said if he is going to run for a fourth time. Certainly felt like it, feels like it. As I've told people when I've asked that question to the mayor's office, they said that's a question for his campaign to answer. Could you explain that the campaign always exists?
Yes. If you're a sitting incumbent, you always have a campaign fund. I ran for mayor a couple years ago. We just closed out our campaign fund. I had a couple $100 in there like last year. So we, bought our team cigars and Nicky Blades because you can do that legally. As much as some people like to think you can't do that because they're idiots. But no, the mayor's always got a campaign fund because remember, it's not just the mayor raising money to run for mayor. He's also raising money to give money to other candidates. Because the mayor has a bully pulpit, has a lot of city contracts, has a big donor base, whereas a city council member or state representative may not have that wide of perspective on can they raise money here or there. And also the mayor raises money for the county party and state party as well. So that's part of the reason why the mayor keeps the campaign fund, up and going. And just because we have a campaign manager and a campaign treasurer, like, hey, you got to those questions, go ask the campaign, go ask people who's running that.
So if let's just say there's a possibility the mayor will run again for a fourth term, who else, Abdul, would his competition be? Do you think?
Right now, his competition would be Bob Osley, uh, Andrea Huntley, the state senator, and also possibly Ryan Mears, the Marion County prosecutor. Now, here's the thing about Mears running for mayor, and I want to say Huntley too, is they're both up for re-election next year. Oh, and also Pike Township trustee Annette Johnson, who you and I both know, said she wants to run. And that's sort of in that same boat. Is if you're going to run for mayor, then I would recommend you don't run for re-election. Because if you run for re-election, like, hey, are you running for this job just to be mayor, or what's going on here? Because people don't like that office hopping if they can have. Now, it's one thing if somebody were to die, or something like that would pop up. That's a little bit of a different creature. But for the most part, if you're going to run for mayor, you need to make that your full, complete, undivided attention. Don't run for another office in between.
Do you think that this has?
Yes. Yes. If Republicans can find a candidate with half a brain who isn't talking Donald Trump craziness, they may actually have a shot of pulling this off. It's still a long shot, maybe a better shot than most times.
But you've got so much disarray amongst the Democrats. Do you think that does that disarray also continue amongst the people that you named as Democrats who could run against Joe Hogsett?
Yeah, I really do because remember, whoever runs for mayor on the Democrat side is going to deal with that footage of Elise Shock being forced out of the council chambers. That is going to be embedded forever. And if it's Bob Osley, you can just see the commercial now. Officers remove her, please. That's going to be over and over and over again.
There it is. There.
Yep. That footage that you folks are seeing, that's going to be played over and over and over again in 2027. Trust me.
And that hurts Bob the most.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about Andrea Huntley. Would be the first black woman, to be mayor of Indianapolis. Do you think she actually has a shot?
I would say if by being a Democrat, you automatically have a shot at being mayor of Indianapolis because Marion County is 60-40 Democrat Republican. With that said, however, the question would be with Andrea Huntley. Okay, why do you want to be mayor? What have you done? She got some education background. She's been in the state senate, and that's fine and good. However, the question would be, what have you done for us lately? What bills have you passed? How is my life better for you being in the Indiana Senate. I think Mears, and also there's something else to think about too. If it's Ryan Mears, Bob Osley, Andrea Huntley, and Annette Johnson, Johnson, Osley, and Huntley are all African American. Ryan Mears is a white guy. You, you, we'd be foolish to say that race doesn't matter, in this day and age. Because just imagine Bob, Annette, and Andrea splitting the black vote. Ta-da! That's why I always kind of jokingly said, Abdul, who wins the mayor's race? Like the unnamed white guy.
That also happened last time, where you had multiple people from our good friend Larry Vaughn to Greg Merriweather to Robin Shackelford, all of these African Americans running, and one white guy running. The white guy won. So you say, with that same formula, that's probably what would happen again.
Yeah, but even though we had Robin, Larry Vaughn, and Greg Merriweather all kind of running for mayor, the only serious candidate, the only real candidate was Robin Shackelford. Let's just be honest here, and she's running against an incumbent, and with millions of dollars in the bank. So to me, that was a little bit of a different creature. But your point is well taken. Once again, for example, if it's one black guy, two white guys, two white women, we cannot ignore the role that race plays in politics. We wish it didn't. We wish people would run on their own merits and be elected on their merits. But then again, I should also be 6 inches tall and have $1 billion in the bank. But that ain't gonna happen today.
Ryan Mears, yes, white guy. However, uh, that is a white guy who shows up in all the black circles that black people do like. Um, that he can talk about how he has helped to clear your record. I'm the guy who's helped you get your driver's license back. I'm the guy who's helped clear your criminal record so that you can get that job, so you can get your pay your child support. Where do you think he falls?
As far as
Chances.
I'd say probably a little bit better than most. If he decides to, once again, the trick for Ryan is, are you run for mayor or are you run for re-election? Because if you run for re-election as county prosecutor, okay, fine. Then you get sworn in, then immediately you turn around and start running for mayor. People don't like that.
Is it likely because and then you also have Annette Johnson, who's very vocal about her service in Pike Township. Does well first, where do you think she ranks? How are her chances?
Um, I'd say slim because that's only Pike Township, not the whole county, which is also the same issue with Vop and Huntley. Vop has a little bit more county-wide presence because he's council president, so he got to deal with all the city issues. And that Johnson, Andrea Huntley, Annette is a Pike County is a trustee, Huntley's a state senator, so the universe is literally their districts.
That again puts then Ryan Mears at an advantage because he's the county-wide vote.
Exactly.
So then, is it fair to say that all this stuff going on in the Hogshead administration right now has been spurring up those conversations? Okay, well, if it's not Joe, who is it?
Yeah, and the other thing to keep in mind too is because people keep saying Joe should step down, Joe step down, Joe step down. Okay, if Joe steps down, what's changed? The same culture is still there. The same problem is still there. If you're a Republican, why are you asking for Hogshead to step down? Hogshead is the best thing that's happened to you folks in a really, really long time. You want him to stay there and keep doing what he's doing. Not only do you want him to stay there, but you want Democrats to campaign with him so you can run against them as well and put them on the record. You see, it's when people say Hogshead should step down, they're playing Connect Four. I'm playing three-dimensional chess here.
Is so if we had to rank in order of chances of people that we know right now, you'd say Ryan Mears in the lead.
Yeah.
Then
Vop Osley, then Andrea Huntley, then Annette Johnson.
And before you would have had Vop at the top.
Right.
But that video is Vop's problem.
Yes.
How do you think he will overcome that?
Time is luckily the good news for Vop is
we got some time.
You got some time. You got some time to rehabilitate your image and fix your stuff. But Vop already had issues in the African American community anyway, The people that think VOP was black enough, whatever the hell that means. I guess it means if you speak English like if you don't speak English like your second language and got good credit, you're not black, which is me. But that's ridiculous. I've always had issues, with it with that thought. He's not really black enough. He's African. He's from Nigeria. Like, don't stop. Just stop now. So there's that. And by the way, there's no black way or white way to run a city. Either you know what you're doing or you don't. You know how to pick up trash, you know how to fill potholes, you know how to put the criminals behind bars. There's no black or white way to do that. You either know what you're doing or you don't. Plain and simple.
Anybody else that you think could slide in? Because again, we've got some time.
On the Democrat side or Republican side?
Both.
On the Republican side, I'm not sure yet. The one person who I know is definitely qualified for the job and would do a great job as mayor. His wife won't let him do it. That would be me.
Okay. Which you did. Which, by the way, I don't think we've even talked since the last time you actually did run for mayor, and you actually did quite well.
Yep, came in second. We raised. It was me. My friend was a campaign manager and treasurer. On a shoestring budget, we raised like $101,000 and change. Came in 27% of the vote. But we lost to a millionaire who spent $2 million.
Well, and then, so you talk about race in that race. Everybody except the top, the party nominees was black on both sides. You and my colleague at the radio station's name is slipping me right now. Who'd you run against?
Oh, I ran against I ran against Jefferson Shreve.
Jefferson Shreve and
Uh, it was basically fundamentals. Me and Jefferson Shreve is who it were. We're the top two people.
And he hosts. He works with the radio station.
Pastor James Jackson.
Pastor James Jackson. Thank you, Pastor James Jackson. I'm sorry, name was just was up there. I could see it. Could see his face. James Jackson. Out of all of you people who ran, all of you were black. From Larry and a lot of radio people too. Larry, Greg Merriweather, Robin Shackelford, you, and James Jackson still ended up with a white Republican and a white Democrat as the nominee.
Yeah, because they had money and resources.
If they took that, if they didn't have the money, or if any of you had the money, you think it'd be a different outcome?
I think so, because when we did some polling, some private polling before they made decisions to get in the race, we actually had a shot at actually pulling this off. But there were enough undecideds out there that would have made a difference. And the way we lost to Jefferson Street was that Jefferson just blanketed the airwaves on every television, every radio ad. And what's funny is, I have Disney Hulu, and I was watching some TV show, and I was actually outside of the Indianapolis area, and I was watching cable television, and a Jefferson Shreve ad came on outside of the Indianapolis market. It's like, okay, that's somebody who's just basically dropping, anywhere and everywhere, and it worked. I'm not gonna hate the guy; he's a good friend of mine.
Well, he lost, but he still got another job.
Yeah,
still works for the federal government. Worked out for him.
No, he's a millionaire, so he's fine.
Yeah, he'd have been fine either way.
Yeah,
with his storage, business,
yeah,
wasn't it? Yeah. So, in this next election, would you like to announce that you will not be running for mayor?
Let me put it this way: I will run for mayor under two conditions. Number one, find me $10 million.
Okay.
Number two, get permission from my lovely wife, the lovely Mrs. Shabazz. Now, here's a hint. It'll probably be easier for you to get a hold of the $10 million. I
was actually quite surprised she let you do it the first time.
I asked her to run for mayor at a surprise birthday party.
Okay. Well,
she was all happy, excited. Like, can I run for mayor? Like, yeah, you can run. Just keep your crap out of my house. Like, yes, dear.
And in hindsight, now that I guess, what is that like now that you, now that we see how things have gone? Do you ever think I could have done a better job, or I would have done a better job, or I'm glad?
I will say this: I had a former Indiana governor mentioned me the other day. We were at an event up in Noblesville. It was the three governors, and and one of the former governors said to me, "Abdul, I bet you those voters are really having second thoughts right now, aren't they?" Like, yeah, I'm sure they are. And we'll just leave it at that.
All right. Well,
had I been elected mayor, none of this would be happening right now. We have a different scandal, but it wouldn't be this.
What do you think that scandal would be? So you smoking in the office?
Yeah. Well, actually, no. See, I come from a different political culture. because although I lived in Indiana for 20 years, I'm from Illinois, and in Illinois, it's just different. It's a lot more cutthroat. It's a lot more cutthroat politics. Number two, here's the thing. In Illinois, all things being equal, you hire your friends. Has been my rule, but your friends have to be qualified. And on the first day from a new cabinet, okay, I want everybody's unsigned letter of resignation, dated, undated, and unsigned. Because as soon as you screw up,
It's gone.
you're gone. That's it, and we're done.
So if we won't get Abdul in the mayor's office, um,
I will never say never.
Okay.
But at the same time, though, $10 million, permission for lovely Mrs. Shabazz.
Okay. All right. We'll put you in the undecided category for this next election.
Put me in the case of emergency, break glass.
Okay. All right, because it's going to come up. So somebody, if we don't have any Republican names out there right now, as far as I know.
I do know looking maybe a couple business people that I know for a fact.
Okay, we're considering. All right. Abdul, if we don't see you from that side of the podium at the mayor's office, we always know you're on the other side asking the questions for indiepolitics.org and your show. Tell us all the places we can find Abdul as we head out of here.
Abdul at Large, weekend, Saturdays 1 to 3 on 93 WIBC. Also, do my weblog, Indie Politics. Also on Twitter, ATTY Abdul, Facebook, and also you can go to Indie Politics, get a copy of what's called the cheat sheet. Best $50 of 6 months you'll spend on gossip, rumor, and innuendo, and also has the unfortunate habit of being right 90% of the time.
All right. Abdul-Hakim Shabazz, thanks for coming in. Appreciate talking to you. Good conversation.
Hey, my pleasure, my friend.
That's going to do it for this edition of Fox 59 Tonight. I'm Cameron Riddle. If you listen to Abdul's show on Saturday, switch over to our sister station. To my show on Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. on 106.7 WTLC and Hot 100.9 for open lines. We'll have conversations like this and many others talking about everything that's happening in the White House, your house. We'll have it there and have it here every night at 8 o'clock on Fox 59. I'm Cameron Riddle. Have a great night.